Hey guys, welcome back to 5nothing100nothing.com. I am Fugit, and it stands for the fittest underdog guru using intelligent tactics. I have too much gum in my mouth. I popped it in. That's what she said. And I thought I'd have it a little bit more chewed up by now, but I did not. The show must go on. Please don't get annoyed with that, even though I'm annoyed with myself. All right, guys, today I want to talk to you about pride versus shame and finding the healthy balance. Now, this is something I've been thinking about, and I think it's really interesting because you hear terms these days like fat shaming, or you see people that have a lot of self-confidence, and they're a lot of haters or a lot of people that just will try to put them down because they just think it's how can they be so full of themselves, or how can they believe in themselves, and they're they come off as to some people as delusional, right? Now, I'll give you some extremes, okay? So you have the person who is the self-proclaimed Instagram model expert in everything, or whatever it is that they're trying to get you to click on their affiliate link to buy, or whatever it is, right? Or maybe they're just looking for attention. And they have no, they don't have necessarily anything that you would be envious of, or anything that you would want to try to achieve, right? And you would look at them and think this person is completely batshit crazy or delusional, right? Or you can look at it as, wow, they're very confident and they're very, self-assured. But I think there's a difference between being self-confident and then self-aware, right? So I think there's people that will have a certain look. How do I say this? They'll have a certain look, and they'll without sounding judgmental, let me just give you an example, okay? Somebody that if you took a poll, most people would think in looks or body or whatever are maybe a 4 or 5 out of 10, but they see themselves as a 10. Now, it depends on a lot of factors, but looking at them, you would say, nah, you really don't see yourself accurately, right? And then you have people that are 10s and they see themselves like a 4, and you look at them and say, well, I don't know why they don't get it. They're a perfectionist, etc. There's a lot of, issues with self-esteem, right? So I'm talking about those that really try to portray themselves as better than you, I guess is the best way to say it. But you look at them and go, you're not all that. And we love to tear those people down, right? For better or worse. Now, you look at somebody who, I hear this is an example, right? You go in the summertime to the beach or to the amusement park, and you see people wearing, very skimpy clothing, and they have, in the words of others, not me, because I really don't care, and I don't look at these things. I'm not trying to say I'm better or that I'm morally, superior, but they'll say, oh, that person shouldn't be wearing that, or that's too tight on their butt, or look, their underwear straps hanging out, or look at that fat roll behind their thigh, whatever, right? Those people, they have no shame, and they're just like, meh, this is who I am, or they just don't see it at all, right? They're not self-aware. So, when you're trying to build your life, you're an undersized underdog, you're trying to move forward, you're trying to put your best, self forward, and you're trying to get ahead, right? You're trying to achieve more, gain the respect of people around you, and have a better life overall, right? Not embarrass anyone around you, your parents, your spouse, your kids, your friends, whatever it is, right? So where do you find that balance between pride and shame? so that you don't come off as so boastful and possibly delusional, right? Now, the other side of the coin is when you have somebody who's very prideful, who's very successful, very good looking, and they just toot their own horn all the time, right? You know, you look at that and you say, okay, well, you know, they obviously have taken it too far. Now, if they're like self-deprecating, yeah, self-deprecating, I think that's what it is. It's not defecating. You know, you look at that and you go, okay, you know, somebody can be, you know, all that in a bag of chips or have a lot of success. And when they do, they don't have to say much at all. They just walk the walk, right? They're not focused on what your feedback is or how you feel about them. They're just marching to the beat of their own drum. They know they're doing good, they're doing their best, and they're just walking in it, right? You can appreciate and respect somebody like that. You know, they don't have to toot their own horn. They don't have to remind you of how great they are. They're just great. They're just doing their thing, right? And then you have the ones who, you know, are trying to make up for what they feel they don't have. And so they've got a false sense of pride when to the common or average person looking at them would say, you should have shame, right? And neither extreme is good. You know, you need to find that healthy balance, and you need to like take a realistic look at yourself. And a lot of times there's a lot of, you know, it's multifactorial in why people may not do that. But I think the first thing that you start with is self-awareness, you know, is be honest with yourself and be realistic with how you fit into the world. What value do you bring? What do you contribute to the world? I mean, if you're happy with yourself and some doctor says, you know, hey, you're morbidly obese, or, you know, your body shape is odd compared to most people, but you've accepted it and you're fine with it, and you have no desire to change it, and there's no pain, you know, connected to that, then you're fine. Then don't worry about what other people say. Live your best life the way you want to live it, and who cares what anyone thinks, okay? But if you're somebody who's looking for self-improvement, looking to change, looking to be better, then, you know, take an honest look at those things. You know, it's not good to be too prideful, and it's not good to also have no shame at all, okay? I think right now in society, we're like, you know, nobody has any shame at all. And shame is a good thing. Shame keeps you, excuse me, on the straight and narrow. Shame keeps you from making bad decisions, from not caring what anyone else thinks. Those things aren't, they're not bad necessarily, right? A little shame is a good thing because it keeps you from embarrassing yourself. It keeps you from slipping too far in your life to where you have no respect from anyone around you. And just because you're proud of, you know, yourself, you know, and you have self-acceptance, doesn't mean you necessarily should. You know, maybe you are a screw up. Maybe you don't exercise enough. Maybe you need to go back to school. Maybe you need to work on your manners, and not everyone owes you something. You don't get to cut in line in front of everybody. You know, think about those things, you know. That's just some random rambling thoughts as I look at the video going 9 minutes now. But just some things to think about. I just thought I'd open up the dialogue, you guys, and talk to you about that. And we can continue that conversation. So, like, share, subscribe. Hope you guys are doing well. Enjoy your day. And hope you had a good Halloween as well.